Hello, welcome back. It's Friday and weekends. Let's try again to read about this F-16. My computer did crash yesterday. I have another video. I had to spend the rest of my day yesterday to try to make a copy of my private files. Because one day the computer will crash and then it will not start again. So Denmark, my country, Denmark, have this F-16 fighter jets, but they just buy this F-35, but that's Lockheed Martin. That's made by General Dynamic, the first version, but I think Lockheed Martin still make it, but only not for United States. They use it to sell it to other countries. But I will just go down to my bed and read about. I have some video about aircraft and aviation in Danish and English. I'll talk about this, but maybe not do today because I have pain in my back and I'm tired and sleepy always. But one day maybe I will make a video about this aircraft in English, but I cannot really tell much about it because I need to read it. I only know what's standing here. I only know about this aircraft from Wikipedia, so I'll go and I'll not read it yet. But I'll make a video in my language, Danish, because this F-16, they're going to donate to, we have this war in Ukraine. Russia have attacked Ukraine last year, 1 year ago, 1 year, 5 months ago. And Denmark and other countries like to donate their old F-16s. I don't know much about. Oh, we have a wire there. But let's read about it. Oh, my mouse.
General Dynamics F-16 Fighting Falcon. F-16 Fighting Falcon aerial view of jet aircraft, carrying cylindrical fuel tanks and ordnance, over flying desert. A USAF F-16C flying over the desert in Iraq 2008 role multi-role fighter, air superiority fighter national origin United States manufacturer General Dynamics, 1974-1993. Lockheed Corporation, 1993-1995. Lockheed Martin, 1995 present. First flight 20 January 1974, unplanned. The 2nd of February 1974, official. Introduction 17 August 1978 Status in service primary users United States Air Force 25 other users, see operators page, produced 1973 2017, 2019 present, 1, number build 4,604, June, 2018, 2, 3. Variants General Dynamics X62 VISTA developed into out model 1600. General Dynamics F-16XL. The General Dynamics F-16 Fighting Falcon is an American single-engine supersonic multi-role fighter aircraft originally developed by General Dynamics 4th United States Air Force, USAF. Designed as an air superiority day fighter, it evolved into a successful all-weather multi-role aircraft. Over 4,600 aircraft have been built since production was approved in 1976. 4, although no longer being purchased by the U.S. Air Force. Improved versions are being built for export customers. In 1993, General Dynamics sold its aircraft manufacturing business to the Lockheed Corporation, 5, which in turn became part of Lockheed Martin after a 1995 merger with Martin Marietta. 6. The Fighting Falcon's key features include a frameless bubble canopy for good visibility, side-mounted control stick to ease control while maneuvering, an ejection seat reclined 30 degrees from vertical to reduce the effect of G-forces on the pilot, and the first use of ULXed static stability forward/fly-by-wire flight control system that helps to make it an agile aircraft. The F-16 has an internal M61 Vulcan cannon and 11 hardpoints. In addition to active duty in the U.S. Air Force Reserve Command, and Air National Guard units, the aircraft is also used by the U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds Aerial Demonstration Team, the U.S. Combat Air Command F-16 Viper Demonstration Team, 7, and as an adversary forward/aggressor aircraft by the United States Navy. The F-16 has also been procured to serve in the air forces of 25 other nations. 8. As of 2015, it was the world's most numerous fixed-wing aircraft in military service. 9. Development. Lightweight fighter program. U.S. Vietnam War experience showed the need for air superiority fighters and better air-to-air training for fighter pilots. 10. Based on his experience in the Korean War and as a fighter tactics instructor in the early 1960s, Colonel John Boyd with mathematician Thomas Christie developed the energy. Mitsubishi F-2. Maneuverability theory to model a fighter aircraft's performance in combat. Boyd's work called for a small lightweight aircraft that could maneuver with the minimum possible energy loss and which also incorporated an increased thrust-to-weight ratio. 11. 12. In the late 1960s, Boyd gathered a group of like-minded innovators who became known as the Fighter Mafia, and in 1969, they secured Department of Defense funding for General Dynamics and Northrop to study design concepts based on the theory. 13. 14. Air Force FX proponents were opposed to the concept because they perceived it as a threat to the F-15 program, but the USAF's leadership understood that its budget would not allow it to purchase enough F-15 aircraft to satisfy all of its missions. 15. The Advanced Day Fighter concept, renamed FXX, gained civilian political support under the reform-minded Deputy Secretary of Defense David Packard, who favored the idea of competitive prototyping. As a result, in May 1971, the Air Force Prototype Study Group was established, with Boyd a key member, and 2 of its 6 proposals would be funded, one being the Lightweight Fighter, LWF. The request for proposals issued on the 6th of January 1972 called for a 20,000 pound, 9,100 kilograms, class air-to-air day fighter with a good turn rate, acceleration, and range, and optimized for combat at speeds of Mach 0.61.6 and altitudes of 30,000 40,000 feet, 9,100 12,000 m. This was the region where USAF studies predicted most future air combat would occur. The anticipated average flyaway cost of a production version was $3 million. This production plan was hypothetical as the USAF had no firm plans to procure the winner. 16. 17. Selection of finalists and flyoff. 2 jet aircraft flying together over mountain range and cloud. A right side view of a YF-16, foreground, and a Northrop YF-17 each armed with AIM-9 Sidewinder missiles. 5 companies responded, and in 1972, the Air Staff selected General Dynamics Model 401 and Northrop's P600 fourth follow-on prototype development and testing phase. GD and Northrop were awarded contracts worth $37.9 million and $39.8 million to produce the YF-16 and YF-17, respectively, with first flights of both prototypes planned for early 1974. To overcome resistance in the Air Force hierarchy, the fighter Mafia and other LWF proponents successfully advocated the idea of complementary fighters in a high-cost forward/low-cost force mix. 18. The high forward/low mix would allow the USAF to be able to afford sufficient fighters for its overall fighter force structure requirements. The mix gained broad acceptance by the time of the prototype's fly-off, defining the relationship between the LWF and the F-15. 1920. The YF-16 was developed by a team of General Dynamics engineers led by Robert H. Widmer. 21. The first YF-16 was rolled out on the 13th of December, 1973. Its 90-minute maiden flight was made at the Air Force Flight Test Center at Edwards AFB, California, on 2 February 1974. Its actual first flight occurred accidentally during a high-speed taxi test on the 20th of January 1974. While gathering speed, a roll control oscillation caused a fin of the port side wingtip-mounted missile anthem the starboard stabilator to scrape the ground, and the aircraft then began to veer off the runway. The test pilot, Phil Eastricher, decided to lift off to avoid a potential crash, safely landing 6 minutes later. The slight damage was quickly repaired and the official first flight occurred on time. 22. The YF-16's first supersonic flight was accomplished on the 5th of February, 1974, and the second YF-16 prototype first flew on 9 May, 1974. This was followed by the first flights of Northrop's YF-17 prototypes on the 9th of June and 21 August 1974, respectively. During the fly-off, the YF-16s completed 330 sorties for a total of 417 flight hours. Winking sad smiley 23. The YF-17s flew 288 sorties, covering 345 hours. 24. Air Combat Fighter Competition. Increased interest turned the LWF into a serious acquisition program. NATO allies Belgium, Denmark, the Netherlands, and Norway were seeking to replace their F-104G Starfighter fighter bombers. 25. In early 1974, they reached an agreement with the US that if the USAF ordered the LWF winner, they would consider ordering it as well. The USAF also needed to replace its F-105 Thunderchief and F-4 Phantom II fighter bombers. The U.S. Congress sought greater commonality in fighter procurements by the Air Force and Navy, and in August 1974 redirected Navy funds to a new Navy Air Combat Fighter program that would be a naval fighter bomber variant of the LWF. The four NATO allies had formed the Multinational Fighter Program Group, MFPG, and pressed for a U.S. decision by December 1974. Thus, the USAF accelerated testing. 26, 27, 28, YF-16 on display at the Virginia Air and Space Center to reflect this serious intent to procure a new fighter bomber. The LWF program was rolled into a new Air Combat Fighter, ACF, competition in an announcement by U.S. Secretary of Defense James R. Schlesinger in April 1974. The ACF would not be a pure fighter, but multi-role, and Schlesinger made it clear that any ACF order would be in addition to the F-15, which extinguished opposition to the LWF. 27, 28, 29. ACF also raised the stakes for GD and Northrop because it brought in competitors intent on securing what was touted at the time as the arms deal of the century. 30. These were Dassault Breguet's proposed Mirage F-1M53, the Anglo-French Sea-Picat Jaguar, and the proposed Saab 37E Eurofighter. Northrop offered the P530 Cobra, which was similar to the YF-17. The Jaguar and Cobra were dropped by the MFPG early on, leaving 2 European and 2 US candidates. On the 11th of September, 1974, the U.S. Air Force confirmed plans to order twinning ACF design to equip 5 tactical fighter wings. Though computer modeling predicted a closer contest, the YF-16 proved significantly quicker, going from one maneuver to the next, and was the unanimous choice of those pilots that flew both aircraft. 31. On the 13th of January, 1975, Secretary of the Air Force John L. McLucas announced the YF-16 as the winner of ACF competition. 32. The chief reasons given by the Secretary were the YF-16's lower operating costs, greater range, and maneuver performance that was significantly better than that of the YF-17, especially at supersonic speeds. Another advantage of the YF-16, unlike the YF-17, was its use of the Pratt & Whitney F-100 turbofan engine, the same power plant used by the F-15. Such commonality would lower the cost of engines for both programs. 33. Secretary McLucas announced that the USAF planned to order at least 650, possibly up to 1,400 production F-16s. In the Navy Air Combat Fighter competition, on 2 May 1975, the Navy selected the YF-17 as the basis for what would become the McDonnell Douglas F/A-18 Hornet. 34. 35. Production. The U.S. Air Force initially ordered 15 full-scale development, FSD, aircraft, 11 single-seat and 4 two-seat models, for its flight test program, which was reduced to 8, 6 F-16 single-seaters and 2 F-16 two-seaters. 36. The YF-16 design was altered for the production F-16. The fuselage was lengthened by 10.6 in, 0.269 m. A larger nose radome was fitted for the APG-66 radar. Wing area was increased from upright aerial photo of gray jet aircraft flying above clouds. An F-16C of the Colorado Air National Guard with AIM-9 Sidewinder missiles, an air combat maneuvering instrumentation pod, and a centerline fuel tank, 300 US gal or 1,100 capacity, 280 square feet, 26 square meters, to 300 square feet, 28 square meters. The tail fin height was decreased, the ventral fins were enlarged, 2 more stores stations were added, and a single door replaced the original nose wheel double doors. The F-16's weight was increased by 25% over the YF-16 by these modifications. 37. 38. The FSD F-16s were manufactured by General Dynamics in Fort Worth, Texas, at United States Air Force Plant 4 in late 1975. The first F-16 rolled out on the 20th of October, 1976 and first flew on the 8th of December. The initial two-seat model achieved its first flight on the 8th of August, 1977. The initial production standard F-16 flew for the first time on the 7th of August, 1978, and its delivery was accepted by the USAF on the 6th of January, 1979. The aircraft entered USAF operational service with the 34th Tactical Fighter Squadron, 388th Tactical Fighter Wing, at Hill AFB in Utah, on the 1st of October 1980. 39. The F-16 was given its name of Fighting Falcon on the 21st of July, 1980. Its pilots and crews often use the name Viper instead, because of a perceived resemblance to a viper snake as well as to the fictional colonial Viper starfighter from the television program Battlestar Galactica, which aired at the time the F-16 entered service. 40. 41. On the 7th of June, 1975, the 4 European partners, now known as the European Participation Group, signed up for 348 aircraft at the Paris Air Show. This was split among the European